I was honoured to be asked, because it's a very serious undertaking, and I was honoured to be trusted with it. I realised that I had to completely readjust to a different type of translation. When you're translating fiction, you're using your imagination, and you're trying to tie your imagination to the authors, and then find ways of expressing that in a different language. This is a very different exercise. It's a political history. The nature of the text was quite compressed but concentrated. The important thing was to be completely accurate. And also, you still have to make it readable to your reader. So just occasionally choices of words or particular phrasings or whatever gave one an opening for a slightly more individual contribution.
It was also learning by doing, wasn't it? Was there a chapter in the CPC's history that impressed you in particular?
Talking about the huge challenge of adjusting to incorporating elements of market economy into a socialist country. That's what I find so fascinating about everything that I read in this book, was the care and thought applying outside ideas and policies and so on to China itself. And that's something that China has always excelled at, its ability to draw in influences from outside, understand them, and then change them so that they become identifiably Chinese and of benefit in that new circumstance. You can see it throughout the history of Chinese art and many other things.
And you've also mentioned that this book gave you a sense of the overall consistency and clarity of the CPC's vision, which you've said is often overlooked by those outside of China. How would you describe this vision, and what do you think really underpins that consistency and clarity?
It's because of my interest in the history of China that I see patterns in Chinese history which clearly are still relevant today, still inform decisions being made today in a way that is not so usual in the West. Overall, it's a quest for stability. That stability will then allow the people of the country to prosper. That's fundamentally it. The two things go together, are inextricably linked, and that seems to me always to be what informs the government of China over the last 70 years.
Now, as China further develops, the international community is also keeping a close eye on its political and economic landscapes, of course. Do you think that understanding the CPC or understanding China could, in one way or another, facilitate a deeper understanding of the people, of the
absolutely.
culture?
Absolutely, it should and it could. There's a brick wall of misunderstanding of China in the West. It's not always one-sided. I think the only way you learn more and learn to appreciate the other's point of view is by more engagement. But I used to take groups of tourists out on tours for China, and they went out with a set of preconceptions and prejudices about the whole social setup in China, which were immediately blown apart within the first week of being in China. There's no way of describing the whole picture of China, what's happened to it, how it's changed, what it's like now, without going there.
What kind of impact, then, do you hope that your works will have on global readers, or what are some of the things that you wish people to remember when they put down your books?
One thing is look at the similarities, not the differences. There's always this temptation to concentrate on differences. With the concise history of the Communist Party of China, within there you can see aims and aspirations that are entirely comprehensible to Westerners. And within the novels you will see people reacting to circumstances that you're familiar with. And really what we need to do is become slightly more childish again, and forget all our sophistication for a bit and look at these fundamental similarities.